Hey everyone, welcome to Surefire. It's not live, it's recorded today, but good to see you guys again. We are going to be talking to Alan Rush and Sebastian and Kevin from the Rilla Rush team effort for a really cool product that they have that is ride-alongs, but there's been some updates, and there's been also some, they're always changing, and there's some information that they wanted to get out to everybody. So we're recording this. So let me bring them back from backstage and talk to them. Here they come.
Hey
guys.
How's it going?
What's up?
What's up, brothers?
Good to see you. Glad
Hey.
we're getting these Surefires back. Hopefully we can do them live again soon.
Yeah, I've got to get that figured out. It's such a good thing. And when, people change, and then this is probably a perfect lead in to change. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's kind of what's happened with our Surefire Live. But Alan reached out to me and said, hey man, I got a bunch of stuff that we need to talk about, some changes people may not know about, and let's have a sit down. So thank you guys for joining me. And hey, for those who don't know it, why don't one of you guys tell people what Rilla is, what the Rush Profits tie into Rilla is, and how that all works?
Yeah, so I can kind of get started with what Rilla is. So I'm Sebastian, founder and CEO of Rilla. Rilla is a leading virtual ride-along software for the home improvement industry. And what that means is when technicians, comfort advisors, sales consultants go out and talk to customers in the home, they will be recording their conversations on the Rilla mobile app. And then we use AI to transcribe, analyze, and give them feedback, and help coaches do virtual ride-alongs that are 100 times faster, better, more productive. And this is a very, very good product for coaches that are really great, like Alan and his team at Rush Profits. So, Alan, why don't you tell the folks watching how you guys coach people with Rilla?
Well, is that the first time you've ever given that 30-second spill of what Rilla is?
Yeah. Like, man, I was hoping he would talk faster.
It was AI.
We're in the South here, Sebastian.
I thought I talked fast. And,
yeah. It was AI automated, and my AI talks really fast. So yeah,
right. I love it. Well, man, so I think hopefully a lot of the people that are watching this know who I am, but I've been doing chimneys for 12, 13 years now, and a big part of my business is ride-alongs. Right, I'm in the field 250 days a year, doing in a truck, and then I heard this rumor at like a Service Titan, event a couple of years ago that, hey man, there's this company that's about to put you out of business. Yeah, they're doing what you do, but they're doing it virtually. And it actually was Mark that first, I think, brought it to my attention. He's like, man, this is you need to look at this thing. And so I'm like, oh no, this is complimentary, right? This is like, how do we go from Alan can only do 3 or 4 ride-alongs a day to can we do hundreds a day? And that's pretty much what this partnership is allowed to do. And so, give or take a year, 14 months ago, reached out to Sebastian and his team. They were gracious. They flew me up to their headquarters in New York and showed us how all this works and how it can be a great partnership. We did a great live video, and I was like, man, this is something. This is absolutely something that we can work with. And so Kevin is a long time, probably one of my best friends in the world. Known him for 25 years, probably now, 25 years.
I thought I was best friend.
Well, I said one up.
Okay.
It's a little bit against me, guys. It's a little embarrassing when they're right there. So Kevin, he's owned a couple IT companies. We've been in sales mixed groups before, and he's got this perfect background of sales management, owning a business, and technology. And I was like, man, if you're ever looking for something different in life, I think I have a division for you. And he's like, actually, I am. I'm trying to help my wife with a store. Like, they've got a great little furniture store here in our town, and so looking for something with more time and flexibility. And so that's how we kind of created that partnership. And then we just started learning the product. Right. And so the idea was Rilla has their AI, which is amazing. And then we have the Rush Profit system that we've created over the last 12 years or so. And it's like, how do we take their AI and then my sales process and train theirs to learn what we know and to listen to it on a daily basis. And so That's how it kind of started. And then at this point, we're 50,000 ride-alongs in just on the Rush Profit.
55,000.
55,000. So,
Alan, on 55,000, how many had you done before? Like, in your mind, how many ride-alongs had you done before Rilla?
Well, my teaser sheet for speaking is in the last 10 years, I've done over 5,000 ride-alongs.
Oh my gosh. And in 1 year, you 10x that.
Yeah, one year we 10x.
Yeah.
And I use the we
with real data, right? Like it's not just you riding along one off that gets lost, not lost, but now you've got like true data with 55,000 ride-alongs. That's an amazing technology and data leap.
It's amazing. And I want to be clear that I use this we word very freely. This is Kevin and his team. I mean, they are the ones that, Kevin's got 3 people under him now that are, and that's all they're doing is knocking out appointments every single day, listening to appointments, checking them against the trackers, creating coachable moments, leaving comments, leaving video feedbacks, creating best practices. And what's really, really cool, and this is kind of a unique thing that, just with Rilla, that doesn't come native, is that we've got this Rush Profits umbrella now. So we have, 100 plus people in here with all these companies. And even though each individual can only see their own, person's data, you could see how, a Jonah would do against a Clyde, right? You can see very distinctly that, well, we can see how they do against the other 100 people, right? So we can be like, hey, your guy's selling, let's just say 1 million, and this guy's selling 3 million. What is he doing that your guys are not? And it's all those little tiny nuances of time spent on site, talk time, patience levels, the questions that we ask, the number of questions that we ask. So we're starting, I would say, after a year, I think we have got a pretty solid model for what makes up a good salesperson. And that's that's a long intro, but that's kind of how we got to today.
Well, I think too, there's some people that are like early adopters and they adapt stuff very quick. And you got a group of people that are like, oh, Alan Rush said to do it, and these guys are doing it, so I'm going to do it. And then you got people that are like, well, let me sit back and see and let them get the bugs worked out, And so you work with a ton of early adopters, fast moving companies, and now you can know, what really is going to work for every size company. It seemed like you could work with a one truck guy to make his time more valuable to the 100 truck company.
100%. And that, again, I feel like this has become a Rush Profits commercial, which is not what the point of today was.
Yeah, it's not. It's
really not. It's one of the things that there is a certain amount of a requirement of users to use Rilla. If you're a company just trying to sign up with them direct, but we've been able to work out an agreement that, if you have 1 person, 5 people, 100 people, you wouldn't be able to use it directly, but you can use it through our umbrella by signing on with the group. So that is a huge differentiator. We have special pricing, all that kind of stuff. But what we have learned, and we got actually a whole new webpage that we'll be launching here in the next 2 weeks. That is nothing but the data and the I guess testimonials that we've got from the people that are already using it. And I think it's fascinating that so many unintended. I'm sure you've had this vision for a while, Sebastian, but so many unintended benefits that we never thought of, such as just the fact they know they're being recorded makes them more compliant. Right? I'm hitting a button. Someone is listening to this. If I don't do my job, they're going to let me know. We had a guy get saved out of a $50,000 lawsuit because he said that a technician said something to him and that he said something back and they had it recorded. It's like, no, none of this happened. Like right here is really like none of that ever was intended as benefits. But we're definitely seeing increased close ratios, increased average time on site, higher sales. More true to the process. That's the kind of stuff that we expected to see. But our challenge that we've had is accountability and compliance, right? I mean, I would say, if I'm being honest, and Kevin, you correct me, I bet 30% of the people that pay us for coaching have people that don't record every day. They're going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so that comes down to a new problem that we're trying to solve with, if you're going to make this kind of investment into your sales team, like why are we not using it? And that's when it comes down to time, priorities, and education. So that's some of the big stuff that we are working on. And then I'd love for Sebastian, I guess it was what is the Pantheon? So I'm all all happy, I think wearing my pajamas, and then all of a sudden some big speech goes off somewhere in Florida and my phone starts blowing up. It's round two, you're going out of business. Like like Service Titan is launching this competitive product, and it's like, oh my, it's cheaper, and it's it's going to be better, and it's integrated, and it's all these things. And so I'm like, oh man, this is real. And so as we, and I'd love for Sebastian to fill in, but as we really got into what this really was, every single person, literally every single person that we talked to that was thinking about looking at this saw that it was what it was. It was a bunch of marketing, and literally we're half the price point, and we do a lot more and have a lot more history. But I was hoping that Sebastian could talk a little bit about the difference between the two, and more importantly, some of the really cool shit that you guys are coming out with.
Yeah. So thank you, Alan. So that was a really fun time. It was like our best event ever. So we do appreciate all the free marketing from ServiceTitan by validating the category. It was actually a great. So let me give everybody the TLDR, the gossip of the industry. So let me give everybody the TLDR. So we're at Pantheon, right? And we're at the partner day. They have like this big, push at Pantheon for the partner ecosystem. And then in partner day, essentially how they pitched it was, guys, like this partner ecosystem, it's a vibrant ecosystem, guys. We are so happy with this ecosystem. Chief among these partners is Rilla. Everybody knows Rilla. Give it up for Rilla, guys. Everybody give a big round of applause for Rilla. Rilla grew 2,000% in the ServiceTitan ecosystem last year. We've never seen someone like Rilla. Is one of the best. Holy crap, guys. Rilla is awesome. Just give it up for Rilla one more time. We are so excited for Rilla that we've decided to build our own very version of Rilla, guys. We are so excited about this category that we are launching this thing called Sales Pro. And I was just like, hey.
I saw you guys were a main sponsor. Yeah. And then this came out right on top. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And all right, gave me a heads up that they were going to launch something like a few weeks before the conference. He said, like, hey, look, it's going to be something similar but different. And so I was like, okay, what are they going to do? And so yeah, ServiceTitan basically. ServiceTitan we are ServiceTitan's top partner, and they are now our largest competitor. So it's fun
like
to be
what Amazon did with Amazon. Oh, you got one thing on Amazon? Boom, we make it now.
Yeah, literally. So it's very fun. And it's a very fun time. But essentially what's happened is, obviously, ServiceTitan, they're running a business and they want to make money, and they are trying to go public and do all these sorts of things. And so they have to generate cash in one way. And, we're their top partner, so we generate a lot of cash for them. I mean, if you were to put us as one of their customers, we're probably one of their top customers. So they were like, hey, why are we getting this small little piece of the pie? Let's get more of the pie. And then, and so for them, it makes a lot of sense where they say, like, listen, if we launch this new product and it doesn't do that well, at least we keep collecting revenue from the partnership with Rilla. And if it does really well, then great. and that's how business operates. So essentially, I mean, I could talk about all the differences and all the different things that make Rilla different than their product. And I could talk about how we have done more virtual ride-alongs than any other tool out there. Like at this point, with Alan and Rush Profits, we've spent 55,000. 552 conversations recorded. But overall with Rilla, it's been about, last time I checked, it was April for the total number. It's like about 2 million face-to-face conversations that have been recorded in the home. That was back in April this year, and we've grown more than 5x this year. So probably more than that now. And so millions of conversations. And so I could talk about how our AI, it's like more accurate in the transcription and like the analytics and all these different things and all those different things. But I mean, we could get into that in the call now. The main thing that differentiates Rilla from, whether it's Sales Pro, there's another tool out there called CXC AI. There's another tool out there called Sales Apps. There's like a lot of these like new tools coming out, trying to grab that little yum, 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 trying to nibble at our heels. The main difference that differentiates Rilla from everybody else is that Rilla is the industry-leading, industry-standard virtual ride-along software with the only proven track record of improving sales for home improvement contractors. I mean, that really is by far the difference. If you ask the Rush Profits and Rilla partners that have been using this, they're going to tell you not only is this product awesome, it has dramatically helped me improve my conversion rates, my average tickets. And you could talk to anybody. If you talk to any of Sales Pro customers, they're probably telling you, I'm really excited to launch it because they haven't launched it yet. Because they're like,
what could possibly go wrong with a launch?
Yeah. No, it's in their website. If you go to their website, it says like something like, Sales Pro customers have seen X percentage increase in conversion rates. And there's like a little disclaimer there that says like, these are results that we saw from less than 15 beta customers, and your results may materially differ from these pilot customers. And basically, it's like when they give the ad for the vaccines or whatever it is for like the medical stuff. You're like, this medicine might actually cost you to have like diarrhea, and it might actually cost you to bleed out of your nose and stuff like that. And so it's like all the disclaimers, but yeah. So I'm sure they're going to come out with like something great. I mean, ServiceTitan builds great products. It's just probably going to take them a lot of time to build to the point where Rilla is now, or been building this for like 5 years. So it's just going to be a long time.
Well, so you got a competitor. They came out.
Yeah.
They have a lot of marketing behind them. You've got actual real data in real time. But I'll tell you the thing that I think is also different is like, there's always like consulting companies and these companies that come in and they're generalists, right? They're generalists and they say, hey, I can help you with whatever you're doing, you're coaching, but they really don't know the details and the language, and they don't speak chimney, as we say. And Alan at first did not want to speak chimney. I am, and he came in on that high level consultant thing. And we talk about it all the time, and he knows this, but then he went deep in it, which this other company is not going to go deep in chimneys. It's just too small of a market. They're going to go deep. Yeah. They might go deep on something else. But what you guys have done, this partnership, is super unique. And so it's going to have the best results because you talk the right language, the exact same things. You can't just say, well, I can sell windows this way and chimneys that way. There's some things that will overlap. But man, you guys know chimneys, the Rush guys do, on the Rilla platform to make it really drill down, totally different than what anybody else is doing. And you're so far ahead of them. I mean, what do you want to pay for? Do you want to pay for something that's learning on your dime or something that already learned, on my dime? So
it's so funny that you said that, Mark, that the Rush Profits, we know chimney. One of the early feedback that we got when we launched this partnership, because again, any new product, we have to go through trials and tribulations. I literally looked at the feedback from one of our chimney technicians that was using the product, and it was like, what can we do to improve Rilla? And he literally said, Rilla needs to learn better chimney language. and so we had to put in a lot of work. Alan knows this, and Kevin knows this. So we had to put in a lot of work to make sure that the trackers actually matched to what we were looking for, and make sure that everything was like properly worked. There's like a lot of work that goes into this.
It was a problem with ServiceTitan early on when they first came on. They were really set up for HVAC and plumbing. And they came into chimneys. It went flat for a while, and they fixed it. But that was a big, probably 8-year span. And I'm using it now too, but so I think that's a good explanation of kind of, there's a difference. There's a new kid on the block, and there's the guys who are tried and true that are really tied into chimneys. There's guys that are trying to scrape chimneys and everything else. Yeah. But Kevin, can you talk? I love you sitting there not saying a word. You're really good at that. But Kevin, what do you like? Why would somebody? You're really the team that listens to these things. What are the big takeaways from what you've listened to a ton of stuff? You could probably go in and sell chimneys no problem now, and you've never. I don't know what you've done personally, but you've listened to so many. And what are you seeing out there? What are you hearing?
Yeah, I think I'm selling chimneys in my sleep, actually, Mark. My wife bought one the other day. So yeah, it's after going through as many conversations as I've gone through, it has really, I could say molded me into I know the process now down, but the thing you're asking, I really agree with Sebastian. And I've already had some customers come to me and say, hey, what about this new technology, and the integration with ServiceTitan? And I'm like, they're going to stumble. It's going to be painful. Just wait it out. Give them 2 or 3 years, to get this product to where it's baked, Rilla, they've got that's all behind them at this point. They've gone through all that. But that historical data now that we have as well, when it comes to our custom trackers, is just incredible. I mean, I actually helped the top rep the other day. He was asking me, what am I doing? Just look at what's happening here versus 6 weeks ago, because 6 weeks ago he was killing it, and now he's in kind of a little bit of a slump. And I actually discovered that he was just overconfident. So he was bringing up issues with the chimney, and he's met these people 4 minutes ago. Before he was waiting until it was about 20 minutes in before he was bringing up issues with their chimney. I'm like, dude, you got to stop this. Next thing you know, he turned around. He called me the next day and he said, man, I saw all 3 yesterday. So thanks for the help. I mean, it's not going to be like that every day, but that was truly one thing I feel like kind of a silver bullet deal for him.
Well, as an owner, I would have never known that. There's no way for me as an owner to know that was that little shift in what you're saying, what you're doing, how you're presenting. You're overconfident, you're underconfident. You've been getting your butt kicked, so you've got this neediness, and people can sense that. Like those little things that you could pick up on are no way to know it as an owner running multiple trucks out there. So that's a really interesting. Just a find. But what are the top? You've been listening to all these. What are the top guys doing just consistently? The difference between the top guy, the mid guy, and the bottom guy.
They're studying their craft. They're training. I can take you right now to Rilla's webpage and show you that the top guys are the top guys for a reason. They're going in and they're looking at their conversations, and they're looking at their teammates' conversations. They're honing their craft, and they're bought in. You know what I mean? They've realized that, okay, this is my career. This is what I do. I use words for a living, and I'm able to, go into someone's home, help them solve a problem. And so that's what the top reps are doing. They're studying. Now, I mean, of course, the process evolves. We're on an election year now, and we've started to get that objection a lot of, well, you have to have that in your arsenal. You have to be able to fold that in and be able to overcome. It's an election year objection. So, but the top guys are just constantly studying their craft. That's the biggest thing they're doing.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, as far as direct feedback, there's definitely a correlation. Probably the biggest big picture takeaway correlation is time on site. Those that spend more time on site sell more at a higher rate. It's literally, Kevin and I just had a meeting with one of our chimney customers like 2 hours ago, and we could very clearly see that the guy that was spending half the time as the other guy was selling half as much. And then one thing, we won't go into details of customer names and stuff, but something I'm so proud of Kevin and his team. We're now recording this. This is November, right before Election Day. And we just had some October reports come out, and a pretty new guy. I'd say he's a year and a half into this process. Closed 3 sweeps a day. 3 sweeps a day. Closed 390,000 in October. And when you start looking at that, I mean, that's a $5 million pace. That's no one's doing that. And so these are things that the top guys in these companies are like, what are these other guys doing? And when they start seeing that, hey, they're learning from me, and then I can turn around and learn from them, it is huge. I did want to hit 3 quick points if we could. The 3 big things that I was getting whenever people came back from this Parthenon thing was cost. Like, they're way cheaper, which I can clearly say they're not. It's like they're more. 2 is that they have auto record capability, which we can debate what that means, but Rilla has that now as well with Service Titan, where when you hit the arrive button, it will automatically record. So that's kind of good to know. And there was a 3rd one that I honestly can't even remember what. It was directly integrated with the software.
Yeah,
and so that's true. It's absolutely true. But we're basically this. We're still, if you're in Service Titan, we're still writing back everything to the Rilla app. So
there's just. Yeah, that last point, Alan, I think a lot of people get confused when they hear like, oh, it's directly integrated to ServiceTign, because they assume it's a ServiceTign product. So they think it's in ServiceTign. It's in the ServiceTign app. It's the same ServiceTign app. They don't have to leave. It's all one standalone. It's actually a different app. It's a completely different system. You have to go into a different system as a manager. You have to go into a different app as a technician. So yes, it's integrated just like Rilla. It's a different app. It's just integrated into ServiceTign. But it's not a standalone. It's not a standalone ServiceTign product. You have to leave the ServiceTign product to actually use it. So to be clear, yeah,
beautiful. And those were the 3 big things, and like they all turned out just to be marketing. But so one of the things that I am excited about, and I don't know how much you can say and not say, Sebastian, but thank you for the invite to come and speak at your first Rilla Masters event coming up in Las Vegas. I think that's February 24th through the 26th. So it looks like you got 30 plus high-powered people, $300 million plus CEOs of companies. I mean,
and then you got Alan.
Then you got me,
the bottom of the barrel.
There has to be a range.
Right.
There's
a good, better, best. You know,
we got to give it up for our chimneys, man. We got to give it up for our chimneys. We got to bring the chimney world to the Rilla Masters. So yeah.
So tell us about it. Like, what is it? When is it? I put your website up here. So tell everybody what you're doing.
Yeah, so Rilla Masters, guys. So Alan's going to be there. You're going to be speaking there. We're having basically the top coaches in the home improvement industry are gathering at this event to share the latest and greatest insights in sales training and sales coaching that you can bring back to your teams. We like to say at Rilla that sales is a sport, highly competitive sport. We need amazing coaches and players, and we like to think of the Rilla Masters as the place where the best of the best at the sport of sales are gathering. And so the entire theme of the conference is for you to bring your sales managers, the owners who are really sales focused, how to improve their sales, how to improve their conversion rates in this kind of like funky years that we've been living with after COVID. You bring your sales manager, you bring your owner, and you try to understand what you can take back to your team to really train them well. We have the best coaches in the industry are going to be speaking. We have some of the best people in sports coaching history. We have Billy Beane, the author of the book Moneyball. If you haven't seen it, it's like the movie with Brad Pitt, where he's the father of sports analytics. He's going to be one of our keynotes. We're going to have, we haven't announced our main keynote yet, but our main keynote is going to be a really legendary coach of sports, because we want to blend the sports world and the sales world together. And it's just going to be a great time. And like Alan said, not only the coaches are coming, but some of the top sales CEOs in this industry are going to be there speaking. Catherine Howard from Rilla AI, she went from $30 million to, I think it was like $80 million that she's ending this year, the recession year. She grew like 100% this year, which is crazy. She has like the top person in the Rilla plot. Like she has her guy Phil, who made like $13 million by himself in sales, in annual sales, like 1 year. And so she's the CEO who's leading this incredible sales team. She's going to be talking about how do you produce $13 million salespeople.
That's incredible. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So we're gonna. That's what the Rilla Masters is. It's just a gathering of the brightest minds in sales training for the home improvement industry, and we're all going to be there having a great time.
And what are the dates?
It's February 24th to the 26th in the Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas. We're going to be having sports people. There's actually a workout session that we're going to have with a coaching group called Exos. They coach athletes to go to the combine and the NFL and all those things. And we might have athletes themselves at the workout in the morning. So people are going to be like working out with athletes. And we're also going to be launching some awesome new Rilla products that we're going to be launching for the world of sales to benefit from. So yeah, it's going to be a really good time.
Super cool. So they go on the site, they register. Amazing couple days.
Yeah, go to the Rilla.com/masters. And that's the website. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when we launch this, hopefully in the next day or two, there's about 20 days left of early bird pricing.
Yes.
So you can get your best price in if you register in like the next 3 weeks. But yeah, it's going to be sweet. I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's exciting. What else is going on with you guys? I would still like to go back to your thought process for a second, that the sales is a sport. You've hit on that. I thought that was a brilliant thought process, and a lot of people don't think of it like that. So could you go into that for just a second, why you say that and why you're tying it all that way?
Yeah. So if you think about a sport is a game with a goal that you usually play as a team, where you need a lot of coaching, you need a lot of training, and you need to execute, and you need to fine tune, and you need to watch game film a lot. And what was happening is, in the sport of home improvement sales, is that you did a lot of the coaching, a lot of training, and you had the athletes, and you were tracking results, but you weren't reviewing the game film. You weren't even there when the game time was happening. You weren't even on the field. And so what Rilla did is he basically said, like, hey, let's bridge this gap between the world of sports and sales, and let's actually coach our sales athletes like the athletes that they are. Let's actually be with them when they're actually doing their job when they're playing, and not just be there physically, but let's actually get all the game film, because it's virtually impossible to be in every single ride along physically. I mean, Alan knows this. He's tried to be everywhere all the time.
He gave it his best shot, and he tried to kill him.
5,000 ride alongs. That's crazy. And so what we do is we say, like, hey, listen, let's have this AI that can actually clone Alan and Kevin and actually put them everywhere all across America, no matter where your shop is. You could be in Nashville, you could be in Memphis, you could be in New York City. Doesn't matter. You could be anywhere in the world, and Alan and Kevin and the coaches of Rush Profits can coach you from anywhere. And in terms of like the sales as a sport, like we started just like, hey, let's just give you visibility into what, like, let's just record the game film and just watch the game film. And as a Rilla product, we tried really hard to get people to just watch game film. Like, just, hey, manager, you need to be spending a lot of your time watching game film. Like, we have a talk by one of the coaches who's coming to the Rilla Masters. The title of the talk is called "Long Gone the Manager, Long Live the Sales Coach," and we love that because so much of management turns into so much busy work, into things that are not like actually high leverage for your team. And I guess a manager, you should be doing one of three things. You should be recruiting, you should be training, or you should be coaching. And that's how you actually lead great teams. But if you look at the schedule of a manager, it just doesn't look like that at all. But when you look at coaches from sports, like 80% of their time in between, coaching sessions is reviewing game film and then bringing it to the meeting, so you can actually have a great session. You can actually have a great game. And so if you actually look at the average day in the life of a sales manager, it's like less than 10% of the time it's actually spending coaching and training. So we bridged that gap with Rilla. We got people actually devoting 50% of their time to coaching and training or more. And then we brought the concept of Moneyball for sales, of like, how do we actually look at the data, like beyond the game film? How do you go beyond the game film and analyze troves and troves of data so you can actually make smarter decisions? And that's why we're having Billy Bean, who literally wrote the book Moneyball, to talk about this concept of Moneyball for sales, which you can actually do for the chimney industry for the first time, because we have 55,000 ride-alongs, virtual ride-alongs that have been recorded. You can actually look at all this data and see what the top performers are doing. So that's, it goes so deep. It goes so deep. That's what sales is important.
I can tell. But also,
I wish there was more passion with Sebastian.
Yeah, I need more. I mean, but it kind of, on the Moneyball thing, they took a bunch of kind of B players that had little specialties and figured out, well, if we actually put these together with this system, it creates more hits and more guys on base and more runs. And it's almost like that would work here too. You don't have to have the amazing $13 million sales guys. But if you had a bunch of guys selling $3 million, you're a whole nother level, right? Like, I don't know what the numbers are for every industry, but it seems like, again, bringing what you've got, and then it'll identify a superstar too, probably. But just giving them that review. I was on a ride along the other day, and I had not bid this one product the other day for a while, and I'm out. And I'm like, hey guys, like, well, how much is that going to be? And I did the mistake of, well, it's probably going to be in the ballpark of, and it was super low compared to what it was supposed to be. And I shot myself right in the foot. But for me, I got done with that sales call with one of my guys, and I said, here's what we did wrong. And like, we reviewed it. Now, in this case, I'm using Rilla, but I don't have it tied into my service line. So that's one of the things we're working on, getting it all back together, because I just came on with service line, and that was a whole different train wreck. But our trains are starting to align. I'm feeling it. We're coming back, I promise. But that review and that criticism of self, a lot of people do not like to do, especially for some reason in this industry. You guys are identifying them, help them be better. So, Kevin, when you're coaching somebody and they're sucking, or they're like, oh, cringe, or, oh, you like, do you give it to them hard, or do you like softball it, or kind of in the middle?
It depends on the rep. There's some reps that I talk to, and they're so involved and so passionate about trying to get better. You hate to just hit them right in the face with, dude, that was horrible. So you try to be softer on some of those guys that really are trying. But then I've got some guys that are in Boston, man, and they're like, stop giving me the same comments every week. So I hit them hard, I tell my team, kind of judge it on your relationship, and they have to have a relationship, so we try to be encouraging. We try to say, hey, try this next time. Just not saying that they did anything wrong, but say, hey, maybe this is better for you. Maybe it suits your personality to do these things. So yeah, it all depends on the relationship with the rep.
I think some guys want it hard. They're like, man, just tear me apart. And then some guys, they can't take it. So that's a coach, right? That's a coach to learn how to coach the student. Does Rilla have other specialties like rush profits that do other things with the Rilla program like Alan did, or is Alan like a one-off?
Alan's one of the best, I'll say. He was actually the one who's scaled it in the best way that we've seen. Super sharp onboarding that we have with the Rush Profits team, like what Kevin is doing and what Alan has done with his team is actually, I would say, I don't want to say the best because that sounds like a hyperbole, but it actually might be the best implementation of this coaching software that we've seen.
You can say he's okay. You don't have to brag on him. He's on here.
No, man, we've done it with other coaches in other industries, but Alan was not the first to do it. He did it, of course, was the first for the chimney industry, but there was other coaches in HVAC, other coaches in home remodeling, like windows and baths and kitchens that had done this. But this has just been like a really well put together program that has scaled like so well. I cannot think of a better implementation. That's really the truth of this program. So
congratulations, Alan. And Alan is good at that. We're partners. He's really good at that kind of detailed, kind of put it together. How does this make sense?
Yes.
So that's great.
And his feedback was critical for us when we started this about a year ago or so, where we really had to dig in and that's why we wanted to have him at the Rilla Masters. It's almost like the voice of the chimneys, Alan, because for our product it was so helpful. The voice of the chimney. He's the guardian of chimney world. So we had to bring Alan because his he was just like again with the feedback when we started, he was really good at making sure that we were actually tweaking our product to fit this industry really well. And without that feedback, it wouldn't have worked as well as it did. So that's why I say it's like one of the best implementations that we've seen.
I think it goes back to whatever Service Titan's trying to launch here is we spent months training the trackers and like getting feedback. To the point where people are like, man, I'm doing everything right, but it's telling me I'm not, so we go through and I would say we're probably 90% there. There's still always a little tweaks here and there with the way people, especially I've noticed it geographically. There's definitely people that word things differently. So working through that, but to the point you were making earlier, and this is either with Kevin and the Rush Profits team or on your own. And Jonah was one of the best at this, Mark, until his world blew up. But they were literally in their morning meetings going through as a team and listening to actual appointments and role playing through real scenarios, right? So it's like most of us hate role play for the most part because it's just so arbitrary. But when you can go through and actually take what would you do in a real scenario and actually take a real customer in your market and use that. And Kevin's got several clients that are doing the plus version of what we do, where he goes on top and actually does sales training on top of the Rilla training, where he's doing weekly role-playing meetings with him based on that. So whether that's Kevin or, the sales manager in your team, when you can look at real appointments and get real data and give real feedback, man, there's nothing more powerful because you're going to see that exact same situation next week and you're going to be better handled to prepare for it. So
I love it. That's awesome. Well, anything else that the people need to know about Rilla and Rush?
That's what I had on my agenda. Sebastian, Kevin, you guys have anything teasers out there? I know you can't tell us too much because you got a lot coming out in February, but
yes. If you want to see all the new things that Rilla's coming out with, man, we have some special things that we're going to be releasing at the Rilla Masters. So go to therilla.com/masters.
Let me ask you one final thing.
A teaser.
Man, you're such a promoter. Are people still scared of AI? Are they still are you getting that pushback?
Oh I'm scared of AI, man, and I work in AI. That's me. I'm still scared of AI. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's like, every time it's actually changed a little bit. So what we learned was that every time I think we just got better at handling the natural objection. But the objections, it's not even an objection anymore. It's just like a regular question. What people used to be really, really scared with this product, it was like, oh my God, I'm going to be recording. Forget about the AI. I don't even care about the AI. It's I don't want to even be recording my conversation. Like, I got into this industry because I'm kind of out there on my own and I'm kind of free and I'm going to, go out there, like do my thing and not be supervised. And now, oh my God, I'm going to be recorded. This is not good. Basically what we learned over the years of doing this is that at the beginning, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Then you start recording, then you lose the fear, then you start improving, then you become addicted to it. And because we learned that at the beginning, that we just start showing people like, hey, this is somebody just like you who was going through the same thing, the same kind of fear that's inherent. And they did that. And now what Alan mentioned, we discovered this use case that we didn't even know about. And we started kind of being proactive about, which is like, hey, this is actually for your protection more than anything. Yeah. Like you are right now, without this tool, you are out there on your own, unprotected, uninsured, and anything bad that happens, you are almost like guilty until proven innocent, because the company's gonna want to side with the homeowner. Yes, it's exactly right. So I was like, we started noticing that as a use case. I've seen so many of my customers come out, like just like Alan said, like these were just like testimonies, like you saved me 50 grand last week, you saved me 100 grand, you saved me blah blah blah. And then we were like, oh, we should just pitch it like this. This is a CYA, cover your ass technology. And when you pitch it like that, then it almost clicks with the technician immediately. And then the fear, you don't even have to go through the whole, trials and tribulations kind of thing. So I think we just learned more about the industry and what makes people tick. And because of that, it just started becoming smoother. But the concern is always there.
From the get-go, almost like clockwork, the top guys on the teams hate this at first. They're like, oh, no. And then the bottom guys are like, heck, it can't get worse. The guys in the middle, whatever. And then usually, and Kevin, correct me on the time, usually about a month to 6 weeks, the guys that hated it the most are, like you said, addicted. Or the ones that are going back in and like, holy cow, I can't believe I even said that. Or wow, oh my gosh, Kevin, thanks for that comment. I mean, when you do the same thing 3-4 times a day, every week, months, years, you become that robot and you don't even really recognize some of the pitfalls that you're creating for yourself until you go back. And then when you could take the best of what you do and the best of what other people on your team do and make your own, that's how, like I said, that's how you get better. So this is truly an exciting partnership. It's an exciting time. I think we're just getting started. And sky's the limit for this thing. So that's what I appreciate everybody coming. Mark, for you hosting this, and Kevin and Sebastian for coming together. I wanted to get the word out of what's going on and that we're still heavy into this. And Sebastian, I don't know if it's Sebastian and I, but definitely a head person on his team and I are doing a keynote at the NCSG to talk about Rilla and really to talk about AI and sales in general. So we'll be doing that. So come by and we'll have a Rilla Rush Profits booth at the HPBA and the NCSG. So feel free to stop by and say hi to us.
Great. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Have a good night. And thanks for all the information, and go sell some stuff.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, yeah. It's big money. I'm sorry.